Hi, Richard here from OneSight Solutions. Welcome to this module on PX Include. So what is a PX Include? It's it's the ability to put one graphic on top of another graphic. So useful for things like headers, footers, sidebars, and so it's just one place you have to go and edit once you've set it up, usually if you're going to use it for things like footers and headers. You could have a PX. You could have two graphics on one PX canvas, and just make one visible, one not visible, and then have a bit of strategy switching them on and off. So you can have one on when the other one's off, and then vice versa. So they're very useful. Use them a lot. Very versatile as well. What the different reasons why you might want to use them. So I'm just going to be adding a header to my graphic here. So to do that, first thing I need to find out is what size this area is here that I'm going to be using as a header. So it's 900 by 105. So the next thing I do is just create a new folder underneath my forge, which is my building. So new folder, call it header. And then next I'm just going to create a new view of it. So I'm not using the actual wiresheet for anything. And then I have to choose, so you can see it's going to create a new file called header under my PX. And I'm going to choose which target media I want. So the HX PX media is for HTML5s. So I'm going to choose that one. And now I need to change this canvas size. So just double click on the canvas and then change this to 900 by 105. And then you can change the background color. So I'm just going to use a light color for now, so you can still see this hashed area. If I'd have chosen a darker color, I wouldn't have been able to see it. Then I'll change that later if I want to. So this is my space that I'm going to be working with, and then I'm going to add this to another PX page, which would be my fan call unit. So on here, I'm going to need to have the name. This is usually the first thing I want to put on there. So to do that, I'm just going to drag any folder on there. It doesn't matter what it is, and I'm going to change it to a bound label. Change the font size. So I want a nice big font. Let's try that, 28. Make it bold. I usually have it standing off the left a little bit, so you can use this padding. You can stand off, so I'm standing off 10 pixels. Change the foreground color as well. And then I'm going to add this format text, display name. So before, where we've added out value and out status, etc., I'm just going to change this to display name, and I'll show you why in a second. So I've added that, so I can now put that on my header. Okay, so I just want to align it to the left as well, so I can do that here. Okay, so then if I go back into my property sheet for my this widget, I need to. So what's happened is I'm using that format text. It's obviously put that display name in my text, but I'm still looking at I'm still looking at an absolute ord. I need to change this so it's a relativized ord, and in order to do that, you can just get rid of all the text here apart from the word slot and the colon, and that's now relativized it. So it's just looking at the container that it's in and using the display name of that container. So now, no matter where I put this, it will take on the name of the folder that it's in. So if I add it, once I add it to my fan call unit here, it will take on the name fan call unit 001. What is important to understand is that it's only going to work under config now. So so at the moment I'm looking in config the forge header. which is here, it's working. When I look at my actual file, it's not working here because it's a relativized ord. It's not an absolute ord. So anything that's relativized won't work underneath my file system, only underneath the config. Okay, so now I can go ahead and start adding some navigation onto this toolbar, this header. So I might want to be able to get to Fancore Unit 1. So now I'm going to be looking into a palette called KitPX, which is one of the kit palettes, and it's not a new. This has been around a long time, since AX days. And I'm looking for the hyperlink button. Now, if I click on this hyperlink at the bottom, it will copy my ord into the hyperlink. I want to change the foreground color, so I might as well do that now. Actually, I don't want to do that. Switch that back. So if I say okay, the thing I didn't do was change the text. So this is my Fancore Unit 001. So now this will hopefully jump to Fancore Unit 001. So you can only tell that by looking at the actual ord here. So it's worked. So I know that's working. So now I can duplicate that and change it to 2. So I can either change it to 2 just by changing the text on the ord. Remember to do the hyperlink and the ord. Or I could have used this component chooser here and selected it from this list here. Or another way of doing it actually is you can right click on here and say copy, and then I could have just pasted that into there as well. So there's different ways of doing it. Okay, so that's oh, didn't change the text again. Oh, didn't change these either. I thought I did. Did I change the wrong one? No. Okay. So those are both worked now once it's up and running. So another place you might want to hyperlink to is the history area. So if I duplicate this again, I can call this history. Now, rather than using the component chooser, I'm going to choose the history ord chooser and just select history from here. Okay, and you can just delete this ord now. I don't need the ord, I just need it to be a hyperlink. The reason why you might want to use the ord as well is if you want to use this next item in the list, the degrade behavior, and you can make it disabled or hidden. So if they don't have, when we come to setting up permissions for the users, if you don't give them permission to see a certain ord, you can say, well, hide the button or make it disabled. So that's when you might want to use that. So now my history will, when I click on that, that will take me to like an empty chart area, which is quite useful for bringing, you can just drag points on here, and good for histories as well, bringing histories on. So that's useful for the end user to be able to do that. Another area that's useful is the alarm console. So here's my console recipient. If I bring this on and use hyperlink again, change my text to alarms. So that's useful as well. Now that would take me now to my alarm console. But it'd be more useful, this button, if it actually told me there's an alarm before I press on it. I don't want to just have to keep pressing on it to see if there's an alarm. So what I can do, if I go back to the value binding of the widget, I'm only going to be using this as a hyperlink, so I can change the ord. So if I've set up a point in here, which is an add, and it's just adding my two alarms, critical and non-critical, and getting a total amount of unacknowledged alarms. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm just going to animate my text. Okay, So if I type anything outside these percentage marks is free text. You can put any text you want outside there. And I just have to take care of this format, which is my out.value. So now it will give me the amount of alarms there are, as well as telling me that as well as being a hyperlink button. So I've got 34 alarms there, 35 now. Again, what's even more useful than that is if it stood out a bit more when there are some alarms. So let me just go and acknowledge these alarms first. So I've got no alarms now. If I go back to the widget, I can now say, well, change. I want it to say I can animate any of these areas at the top here. So I could say I want to animate the foreground color when to red when I have more than a certain amount of alarms. So choose my color. I can now say if I type in here -inf minus infinity, that means anything, any number below the next number, which I'm going to put in there as let's say 2.5. So any more than 2 alarms, it's going to go red. So I have to do the opposite here and put +inf. So any more than 3 alarms. So that's going to have to go to 3 before it will change to red, the font there. So while I'm waiting for that, the other thing you can do is make it blink. So again, you just right click on it, say animate. The same thing. So if I say let's put 3.5 in this one, and then just say change the false to true. So I've got 3.5 in that one, and in the foreground I've got 2.5. So let's just change that quickly to 1.5. So when I get so there you go. So I've got more than 1 alarm now. So that's now gone red. When I've got more than 4 alarms, when it goes higher than the 3.5, it will start blinking. So I'll look at this in a minute. So that I need to show you how now to add this header to the PX pages. So if I go down to my files, PX, go to my fan crew unit graphic, and then go into edit mode, all I have to do to add it now is just drag it onto the onto this PX page. So you can see there the text isn't working because I'm still underneath my file system. If I now go back to my fan core unit underneath config, you can see it's taken on the name, and it's all these buttons here as well. Obviously I need to organize this a bit better, make it look more presentable. Other useful things to put on the headers are like outside air temperature, time and date, maybe a company logo. Good. So just waiting for that alarm to go one more. So while I'm waiting, I'm just going to go and change the color quickly. So go back to edit. You always have to go back to the header, or either the underneath config or under your PX. So change that to the same color, and then just arrange these buttons a bit neater. Go back to my fan core unit. Hopefully very soon I'm going to get one more alarm, and then we'll see that change. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. If you are enjoying watching these videos, please go to the bottom and subscribe, and also have a click on the like. Don't forget to check out our website as well, where we offer lots of product solutions, also in-class training on different products. And I will see you next time. This alarm is just about to change and hopefully blink. There you go. See you next time.